I'll call us to order. Welcome, everyone. Is Renee LaPierre the principal clerk for the evening?
No, Renee will be our
Okay.
recording secretary going forward, but she had a conflict tonight, her first night starting with us. So Tish is from our office going to be taking minutes this evening.
Well, thank you, Tish. Appreciate it. And I was hoping to welcome Renee, but we'll do that next time. I also want to recognize, now that Lee Williams has passed away, his remarkable contribution to the town and to this committee. So I just would like that on the record. We will miss Lee.
Amen to that.
Agreed. Very much.
And I would also like to welcome Tom Broussard to our group.
Welcome, Tom.
Hey, everybody. This means I can throw away the lines I've been saving for your re-election campaign. That's good.
It does, Ed. I don't think my wife or kids would be down for that. So some stiff competition.
Well, let's deal with the minutes and those finished. Would someone make a motion on the executive minutes that we would still like to not release? These are February 11th, March 18, and April 8th, July 8th. Or
I make a motion that we approve the minutes not to be released at this time.
Second.
we'll take a vote in the order of my screen. I'll call you out. I vote aye. John?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Tom?
Abstain.
Dennis? Dennis? I think you're muted. Doesn't show that way. We can't hear you. Try again. I still can't hear you. Have no audio. Yes.
You got the
Okay.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Carol
And aye.
and Meredith
Yes. Aye.
and Greg.
Range aye.
Thank you.
And Tish asked who seconded that vote. Amanda?
Okay.
And Jim, I'm a bit rusty, but is it appropriate protocol still to read the remote meeting procedures?
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you for that reminder.
Does someone have them in front of them? Did they do that?
I do, if nobody minds.
No, please.
In keeping with an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021, this meeting shall be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board or commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. And this meeting is being broadcast live and recorded on ECAT, I believe.
It is.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
And thank you for the reminder. So we have a regular session minutes of September 9th. If I can have a motion to accept.
Motion to accept?
That was
Second.
John.
Ed seconds.
Was John made the motion? Yes. Okay. Any adjustments to those minutes? Hearing none. I'll go in the same order. Lee, aye. John,
John, aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Tom,
Abstain.
Dennis. And use your thumb. You still have no voice. Thank you. Carol,
Abstain.
Meredith,
Aye.
and Greg.
Range aye.
Thank you. One more. And This is executive session for September 9th. Could I have a motion to accept and not release?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was Greg and Ed. Amendments, corrections to the minutes? Hearing none. Same order. Lee, aye. John?
John,
John, you blanked out.
John, I.
Thank you. Amanda?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Tom?
Abstain?
Carol?
Abstain.
Meredith?
Aye.
And Greg?
Range aye.
Thank you. This part of the meeting, the major discussion I put on the agenda myself is my intention to step down from the position of chair. I've been in it for 11 years, I think. I said many times, every fall, I try to remember to open up the discussion for and have us consider the leadership of the committee. And I think I've expressed many times the feeling that this should not be a lifetime appointment. Although I'm still alive, I'm happy about that. I think that there's all sorts of potential downsides from having people in volunteer chair positions for extended periods. So I discussed this with Wayne and Stephanie. They suggested that I talk to Dottie Fuginetti because there was an opening on the board. We had a member who couldn't attend. That's Matt Craig. And I kind of said all this to Dottie and expressed the desire to step down and wanted to have input on who else might be considered for that position on the committee. And then to bring it to you at this meeting for a discussion of all leadership roles. We have Greg is the vice chair of the committee, and we have a recording secretary or clerk position in the past. That was Lee Williams. When he stepped down from the committee, we chose not to fill that post. And we probably should reconsider that decision if that's appropriate. So because of my interaction with Dottie, I think that's why Tom, and in fact, Tom, if you want to comment on that, has been added to the committee. And I had a conversation with Greg as well. Since he was vice chair, I talked with him about this, and the concern is to have someone who has connection with the community, broad connection with the community. A number of people on the committee have that, and also have an interest in being the chair, which so far has not been widely shared among the committee. And so I would strongly suggest that if you are not interested in putting yourself forward as the chair, that you consider Tom for the role of chair. But this is a committee decision. And I would like to have a discussion of that role, and I would like to move to a vote of the committee for a new chair. So what is your preference? First of all, feel free to put yourself forward if you wish. If you have an interest in being the chair of this committee, it's a lot of fun. It is rewarding. I have to say that. And before I stop talking, I do want to thank Stephanie and Wayne and really all the various people who've been liaisons with this committee from the town office. I think they've been uniformly extremely helpful and also very forgiving of a few foibles along the way. So, what's your pleasure?
I actually had a couple of questions. First, Lee, you have been unbelievable for, let's see, I can't tell you how many years I've been on the committee, but not nearly as long as you have. And first and foremost, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Second, anybody that wants to step up to be chair, I think deserves a medal because it's a responsibility. And usually people that are on these town boards they're also entwined in other responsibilities within the community and sometimes outside the community on top of that. So again, kudos to whoever wants to step up to the chair. I'm not interested in that. I like where I am. My question, if Tom did a great job as select board person, if Tom was to be the chair, what happens? I mean, this is all hypothetical. That he runs for office again.
We have to close CPC down.
I'm sorry. Well, that's what I'm saying. So
We couldn't go on without him.
So my concern would be, what is the policy, procedure, protocol on something like that?
The board would vote for another chair.
So it would just automatically.
Simple, it's easy. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal.
Well, I just trying to strike before it happens. Well, that answers my question.
Well, John, thanks for the question, because again, I think this is a time to get things out in the open and talk about it. So thank you.
And I know Tom's wife Jen pretty well, and he was not being facetious about what would happen if he were to run again. And so, having done 2 very demanding jobs and thankless jobs, actually more than 2 for the town, I think there will be a learning curve if Tom wants to do it, but it will be a much less thankless job than the prior ones he's had for the town, which he's done very well.
Appreciate that.
I would point out that my learning curve was 1 meeting. It was Ed Hands and Lee Williams that started me down the railroad track.
Here we go.
And it had me join the committee, and the next thing I knew, I was voted as chair. So I'm sure Tom is a much quicker learner than I.
I don't think so. I think I'm just as susceptible to Lee's charms as you are. I think it was 2 meetings and I was a Lions Club member. So that doesn't take long. John, to answer your question pointedly, and Amanda answered it far more better than I could. It's not a consideration at all right now. I would love to ultimately serve the board and join the select board again at a moment's notice. That will happen right after I hit the lottery and retire. I left for good reason. My girls at 12 and 9 mean everything to me, and the time demands were just too much in conjunction with the new job that I had that required some travel. And so candidly, I miss it very much so. I miss and I think, Amanda, I agree with everything you say, but there's a lot of thanks. There's a lot of opportunity to make an impact in the community and to meet some incredible people who make it very easy for you to do good in that position at times. There are some less fun moments of it. But candidly, John, this gets to scratch an itch for me. I have always been very deeply appreciative of the history and the open space that Easton embodies in our community. And I can't think of a better committee than the CPC that actually has the mandate and charge to go and protect those in many ways. I certainly am interested in being the chair. I enjoy it. For my job, I'm not sure if all of you know, so I currently am responsible for 144 senior living communities across the country. I have 8,000 team members that are just incredible at what they do every single day, helping our residents live their lives. And part of that job is the oversight of over 120 million directly of capital. And that capital is designed to be put to great use and to provide an ROI, and not just a financial one, but to better the residents' experience in their lives and our team members' lives. So there is a very good synergy between one of my responsibilities at work, which is evaluating projects and trying to understand and build consensus around the value to a community. In my case, it happens to be a senior living home, but I would really welcome and appreciate the honor of being able to do that activity someplace much closer to home, like in our town. So that's just a little bit about me, and I really have missed seeing folks in the community and being a part as a select board member. I can tell you that it was really nice to go to the NRT fair recently and to see a lot of faces that hadn't been seen for a long time, and to see the community come together. So hopefully we're all navigating our way out of the pandemic, and I certainly see a lot of projects coming our way from a CPC perspective that hopefully can make a big impact in people's lives, not just today, but for many, many years to come, and keep Easton the very special treasure it is that gets us all on this board. So I'd be honored if you all would consider my, I guess, chairmanship. And I assure you I will never fill Jim Lee's shoes, and I wouldn't try to, but I will certainly try to do him justice and honor by working hard and trying to be a good leader.
Well said, well said.
Tom, welcome to CPC. I also do not want the chairmanship, so if you're willing to step up to the plate, I think I certainly will support you, especially given your experience. And Jim, thank you for your time. It's not an easy task, and 11 years is honorable, and I'm greatly appreciative because you were chair when I came on and welcomed me to this board, so I'm grateful for that and for your leadership. And I'm curious, are you going to stay on the board, or are you just going to step down?
I'm definitely going to stay on the board as long as the select board supports that.
Great.
Being chair is 11 years, but Ed, you've been a member of this for how long, 21?
Not consecutive. There was a couple of years that between when I was the Historical Society Commission member and when I became an at-large member.
So only 19. That's just terrible. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yes.
I heard they call it the dark period when you weren't on the committee.
Yeah, right.
We have another name for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Mardi Gras, wasn't it?
Happy days.
That was
Happy
it.
days are here again.
The meetings were a lot
The
shorter.
rabbit kicked the bucket.
Well, I will say I don't want to be chair, and that's a good thing for the committee. And I'd really like to thank Jim for. I had forgotten that I was one of the guys that got you stuck with the job. Sorry about that.
I didn't forget.
But
Enough of this. Motion to nominate Tom as chair.
I second that.
Okay, I will lead the vote, and we'll do it in the same order. Lee, aye. John?
John, aye.
Amanda?
Barella, aye.
Ed?
aye.
Tom?
Abstain.
Carol? Thumbs up. I couldn't hear you.
Just
Okay.
muted.
Thank you. Meredith?
Each aye.
And Greg?
Range. Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Aye, we heard you.
All
Oh,
right. You
All
lost
right.
Carol, you got me,
Come to
you
life.
know? I had to leave and come back, but I did it.
I think
Well,
Dennis
he's-
is now the longest serving member consecutive year. You've
Uh,
always been here.
I go back to 2007, the Unity Church, the last phase.
Okay.
Okay. Tom, I would point out that you are now chair of this committee.
Welcome aboard.
Yes.
Buckle up, right?
Thank you.
Thank you all. Jim, how's
I'm
it feel?
Relaxed, yes. I'm gonna try to stay awake.
Well, let me just start by saying thank you to all of you for your efforts that you put forth, not just in the past, but I'm sure to come. Certainly a lot of tenure on this call, and that's critical and important. And, you know, Greg, as vice chair, deeply value your efforts and contributions as well, in conjunction with the rest of the team. And, you know, Stephanie, Wayne, certainly appreciate you and Tish, all you folks from the town and your support for this committee as well. And it's appreciated. I'm sure on my first day and many days to come, I'll be relying on all of you in order to do the right things, say the right things, and get us to the right place. That said, I do not think that there's any further active business for us with the exclusion of entering into executive session. Is that a fair summary, Jim, of your agenda?
Yes, yes.
So with that, I would take a motion, and it will be a roll call vote, to enter into executive session under purpose 6 of Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 21A, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. As I'm declaring that an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body, we will not reconvene an open session, and we will be inviting, including Stephanie, Wayne, and Tish for the purpose of recording.
So moved. By Lee.
Varela?
So that's Lee and Varela, and it is a roll call vote. And I'll just go in order of my screen. Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Ventrisco,
John, I.
and Wayne. Oh, that's right, you don't get to, but you're
Wayne
on the
doesn't get a
screen.
vote.
Amanda,
Varela, aye.
Ed, sir,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Meredith,
Each eye?
Greg,
Range, aye.
Dennis,